and he became actually a Satanic priest.
Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary.
And I'm Father Joseph Anthony Kress.
I am a Franciscan friar of the Renewal.
And I'm a Dominican friar of the province of St. Joseph.
He's here to talk about a blessed who's about to be canonized, who has a very kind of powerful testimony to specifically the power of the Rosary.
Blessed Bartolo Longo, his canonization was just announced. It's coming up in October of 2025, where he'll be canonized a saint of the Church. But one of the things that I think most people know about Bartolo, if anybody recognizes him, is that he lived a very checkered life. And he had a major conversion kind of back to the faith. But when he was in the university, studying at the University of Naples, he actually got very involved in the occult. And he became actually a Satanic priest. And in that work, was very active in the city of Naples and its occult practices and things. But he was also struggling with a lot of mental health issues and was expressing some of his struggles to one of his professors. And one of his professors suggested that he should speak with a friend of the professor who just happened to be a Dominican friar. And over the course of 3 weeks meeting with this Dominican friar, he then he went to confession, received absolution, and rejected all this past involvement in satanic work and in the occult. And began praying the Rosary through this process. And in doing so, became very devoted to Our Lady, but recognized that that was going to be kind of his redemption, and his path to salvation was promoting the Rosary. So I think most people know about that early conversion, and it's a very radical conversion, very gripping one, but the rest of his life, many decades after that, he spent promoting the Rosary in the city of Pompeii, using it as a way to catechize the faithful, using it and building a shrine so that others could pray in the Rosary, building orphanages and taking care of the poor, vocational schools, legal services, himself being a lawyer for the poor of the city of Pompeii. And just an amazing, amazing life that was truly, truly devoted to the Rosary and helping others to encounter Christ in that. He himself was responsible for bringing in over 180,000 people in his lifetime into the Rosary confraternity, which is just unbelievable.
So I first learned about Blessed Bartolo Longo back before I was a friar, and I was probably like 20, and I was helping out with some juvenile hall ministry. So we were going to put on retreat at juvenile hall, and I was giving a talk on the power of the Rosary and pulling from a couple of saints. And like in that context, I was looking at Blessed Bartolo because of like kind of the radicality of his conversion and the sign of like hope, the power of grace, the power of the Rosary, devotion to the Rosary. A lot of folks like watching Ascension Presents are not in juvenile hall, and they're not in prison, and they are not satanic priests, But for kind of like the regular churchgoer, what would be some like primary takeaways from the life and witness and work of Blessed Bartolo?
I think one of the things that he kept repeating, and it was a source of comfort for him in his life, both at his early days of conversion and then post-conversion, as he kind of struggled with his own mental health, even post-conversion, but also which motivated all of his activity, was a promise of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Saint Dominic. And that promise was that those who promote the Rosary will experience their salvation in that promotion. We were all introduced to the Rosary by somebody. Mm-hmm. You can be that somebody. I keep extra rosaries in my pocket, and I hand them out on the subway when I meet people. Just having those opportunities to introduce one other person to Jesus through Our Lady, that is a great work to do, and that's worth engaging in.
I was just with like a family and hanging out with them, and it's one of the things that, and you've seen this when you were working on a college campus, is like there's a big culture of like sharing like videos.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh,
it's like, this is funny, or this is this, or this made me think of you. Like, so there is something like so natural about when you have been moved by something or been enriched by something, like the natural response is to share it. And I think it just makes sense. Like Blessed Bartolo, like this, it wasn't just like an act of charity or whatever he was doing. It came so naturally because of how deeply his life was affected and changed by our Lord, by Our Lady, by the Rosary. Like his sharing of it was just like, it flowed from that. It just made sense. We share good things, and like what better gift can we share than our faith, particularly this great gift of Our Lady as mother, and a place in which we can really experience her and her goodness and her motherhood to us in the Rosary. So his life is a sign of hope and encouragement, but also kind of like this invitation to not just honor what he did, but also to sort of imitate it, right? By ourselves becoming promoters of the Rosary and in the little ways that we can do that. Well, thanks, Padre. Thanks again for being with us, and thanks for the good work you're doing. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Remember, we are pilgrims on this earth. Somos peregrinos poco a poco, little by little. Vamos a llegar. We're going to make it. See y'all.